Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ben. How are you?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Can't complain.
All right, I have a goal for this podcast,
Okay.
which is for it to not really sound like we're doing a podcast.
Yep. I think that's a good idea.
I think we're on our way because I didn't prepare anything.
Yeah.
So
I think we will have sort of no choice but for it to be just a conversation. So
yeah, and if it sucks, it's Derrick's fault because Derrick texted me this morning and was like, "Oh, sorry for the late notice. I'll be on a plane when we were supposed to record."
okay. I kind of feel like he probably knew that in advance. But
Yeah, like it's a recurring calendar invite, Derrick. It's been on there, probably for a year at this point. This particular
That's
Thursday
okay.
at 4 p.m.
Give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, no, I mean I've done this to him so many times. it's a thing.
Yeah.
It's fine. So yeah, I don't know if you've seen this. Like Tyler Tringus tweeted about this, like writing up like a monthly advisor update for people, like as if it were an investor update, even if you don't have investors.
I think I did see the tweet, but I didn't really like pay much attention to what other people were saying about it or anything like that. But it seemed like kind of a neat idea.
It is. It's really cool. So I was sort of inspired by his tweet, and so I started doing this. And I just wrote the third one today, and I'll probably send it in a couple hours. And so I just basically started emailing like close friends who I like respected and saying, hey, like, would you want to be on this thing? You can read it if you want. You don't even have to. You definitely don't have to respond. But if anything jumps out at you, like, I'd love to hear what you think. And I think 100% of the people I've asked that of have said yes, which makes sense. It's pretty low commitment.
You never asked me.
That's true. Yeah, that's. Don't worry, you're on the next round of invites. No, you and I talk a lot actually. So I ask you for advice more frequently than these people. You're on the Telegram / hop on a chat kind of list.
Cool.
Which is the even more exclusive list.
Sweet. Yeah. So how's that going? So you've done 2 of these already?
Yeah, and I just wrote the third. It's really good actually. It's just nice to look back on them and be like, oh yeah, like we did a lot of things. And like I said at the beginning of July that we had certain goals for July, and like which ones did we get done? Like where are we at? Like are we making progress? So it kind of helps it helps my stupid brain, which like focuses on the negative, like kind of preferentially, be like, oh yeah, like I said I was going to do things and we did these good things. And I step back and I look at like our numbers because I include like the financials, like what's going on. And those all look really good. So it's like, okay, yeah, things are good. Like be chill.
I started doing something similar to that sort of at the beginning of the year because I find I have a similar problem, which is it's very easy to sort of not acknowledge your own like accomplishments or not even realize that you did something. Like it's very easy to look back and think like, wow, it's July. It's actually August now. Holy crap. What the hell have I even done? Like there's that's so much time. I should be able to get so much done. And it's so easy to forget the things that you got done and focus just on the things that you have wanted to get done, but still haven't got done. So I started doing this like work journal on my blog that I basically failed at keeping up with since March. But for a while I was doing like a weekly post. I was like, okay, here's kind of what I got done last week. Here's kind of what I want to get done next week or whatever. And again, the whole point was just so that I could look back on it myself at the end of the year and see like, okay, I accomplished a lot of stuff. Because if I don't keep track of it, it's easy to only really see like the really big stuff and forget about all these like kind of smaller projects that are actually significant and take up a bunch of time. But I like the idea of doing it just as like an email that you send out to people too, especially if you have people then like responding and stuff, which kind of motivates you to do it more. And
well, so first of all, it's nice that it's private actually, because I feel like I can put everything in there. Also, it's nice that there's a little bit of social pressure where I was like, hey, I told people I'm going to do at least 3 of these. So I made like a commitment to people that I respect. And so I don't want to like stop doing it. But also, yeah, the feedback has been useful. So one thing I found is that like asking a specific questions really helps. Like just saying like, here's what's going on. People like kind of comment a little bit, but not that much. But when I said like, oh, and by the way, I would love your thoughts on this, that like really like had a lot more people responded to that. And like I asked a question last time and like basically everyone responded and said the same thing. And I was like, well, okay.
Awesome.
That's pretty clear. Yeah.
So how many people are you sending it out to at the moment?
It's like 8 people now.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there.
That seems like a decent number.
Yeah. I think I'm going to keep it adding people a little bit. Tyler pointed this out. And I thought this was like savvy. It's kind of a lightweight way of staying in touch with somebody and building a relationship with them. there's some people who are like not quite friends of mine, like not quite in my network, that like I wouldn't mind adding to it and like having more of a connection with. And it's like, this is kind of a good first, like, hey, would you be interested in this? And then like they sort of are up on like what I'm doing and what's going on. They have a bunch of context, and it's just it's like a nice lightweight way of staying in touch.
That's cool. That's cool. The developer in me immediately is thinking like, oh, could you build an app that like facilitates this and like does it in like some
it's
cool
called
way?
Gmail.
Yeah, exactly. It's called email. Yeah, but that's cool. I actually noticed that Brian Castle started doing the same thing. And he invited me to his, which you didn't, but Brian did. And
yeah, he invited me to his too, so whatever.
Yeah, so it's cool hearing you talk about it anyways, because it's like, okay, so there's kind of like a trend happening here. This is like a thing people are starting to do. So I don't know, maybe I'll dip my toes in this water next. Find some people other than you to invite.
Exactly. Yeah, people that are cooler than I am that you can like sort of drop in front of me. And you'd be like, oh yeah, DHH was saying that in that email that I sent him.
Just a really ambitious list of people to send it to. I'll just have like Elon Musk on there. Send it to Steve Jobs. Like maybe he's not dead, maybe he'll reply to my email.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Good. So what else have you got going on?
Well, speaking of high profile nerds and stuff, I think Gary Bernhardt is going to come on the podcast in a little bit. Should be cool.
Nice.
I wouldn't say he's officially committed, but he's like kind of committed. We'll see.
And to talk about, like, I know he just launched that execute program thing.
That's right.
Which is kind of like this secret thing he's been semi-secretly working on for what seems like probably 2 years or something at this point.
Something like that. Yeah. He's like, it's going to be a businessy thing. Like it's going to be like a real, pay for it kind of product. And so I was like, man, this is the intersection of programming and business. Like you should come talk. We can have a good conversation about this, especially developer education too.
I feel like Gary has sort of been out of the sort of public spotlight for a few years. Like he used to do a lot more interviews and stuff like that, especially when like Destroy All Software, he was putting on new stuff regularly. Then it feels like he kind of went into hiding to like work on some new stuff like this. So I'm curious to hear what he has to say, because I think it's been interesting even just following along with, he's talking about like TypeScript and stuff all the time. He's not like, there's no Ruby on this new app at all. As far as I understand, it's like a Node and React thing. So it'll be kind of interesting to get his perspective on like just the technology that he's even working with and stuff now compared to what he's sort of known for. So
you should probably ask him that kind of stuff. You should have him on.
I know. I want to get him on. I need to get him on my podcast. I've been wanting to do it for years, and mostly because like I've just learned so much from Destroy All Software. It's like, man, it would be cool to talk to Gary about stuff, but I didn't really have like anything specific to talk to him about, which is always an annoying problem. It's like there's a person I want to talk to, but I don't have like the right conversation to have with them. But maybe now I do. So yeah, maybe I can bug him to do an episode.
Yeah, like I can ask him about his tech stack, but like I don't know any of the JavaScript stuff. So I just be like, cool, that sounds JavaScripty.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
that's cool. I got him on Giant Robots back in the day. I'd interviewed him like a million years ago. I had to like really kind of go after it, where I got in touch with him. He said yes, and then he canceled. And I was like, oh, that's such a bummer. And then like I prepped like crazy, and then he canceled. And then I saw him at a conference, and we were talking. And I was like, oh yeah, by the way, I was that person. And like I like pulled up my notes. I was like, I have all these questions for you. And I was like, I did all this work. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. All right, fine, I'll do it. And I basically just guilted him into doing it in person.
I remember that episode. I was a very, very avid Giant Robots listener back in the day. So
wow.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Can't believe you remember that.
Yeah, man. I remember like all the good ones. Listened to them multiple times. The DHH one. I think there was only one where you had DHH on. That was just you interviewing him. All the ones with Joe were really good, where it's just like you and Joe talking about refactoring and TDD and.
I need to do another episode with Joe. He still would be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like sort of like this secret, amazing, super smart dude that just like exists, but isn't like super out there. Like he's got blog posts. He wrote like the Ruby science book and all this stuff, but he's kind of he deserves to be more known, I think, because he has a lot of interesting stuff.
I don't think he wants it.
Yeah,
which is too bad. But like,
it would benefit the community to know him. Like
100%. Yeah, like I think like a huge percentage of the stuff that I know about programming well came from him. It was just like being able to like work next to him or like doing dev discussions that he led, and just man, I agree. He's like one of those people that no one knows about, but they should. Dude, I'm looking at the old Giant Robots episode, and man, this is the streak. 3 episodes in a row. Gary Bernhardt, Joe Ferris, and DHH.
Yeah, okay, sweet. There you go.
It's like, man, we were on a roll.
2012. Holy.
2012.
That's
that
a
was
long time
7
ago.
years ago. I can't believe I made stuff 7 years ago that like
Yeah.
where I was like an adult when I made it, and I'm like now an older adult.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I was in college when that came out still. I was like learning to be a
You son of a
programmer.
bitch.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that, you bastard.
Yeah.
I had the weird experience the other day where I realized that like I'm 36 now, and I was like, wow, when I was 18, that was half my life ago.
That's wild.
Yeah, that was just bizarre.
I mean, yeah, I'm there with 16, which still feels like pretty close to as significant as that. Like, yeah, half my life ago, I learned to drive a car or whatever. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, it's bizarre. Every year I have more and more stories that are like, oh yeah, so I guess that was like 15 years ago when something. And it's like, oh, what?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yep.
20 years ago story. That's going to start happening.
Yeah, it will for sure. I mean, you have them already if you think about them for sure. Things that you
Yeah.
probably remember very clearly.
Yeah. It's weird getting older.
Yeah, it is.
It's cool though. I'm all right with it.
Yeah. So far, things seem to be fine. I'm a 16-year-old with a more painful back.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It's harder for me to maintain mobility.
Yeah.
And other than that, things are, I'm probably a little less, I don't know, I'm a little more mature, I guess.
Yeah.
I know some things about some things.
Yeah. Cool, man. So what else is going on in the Tuple business world or
Tuple sphere.
product world or...
So we shipped a couple good things recently. So we shipped the webcam feature. Like that shipped 2 weeks ago. It's been used 800 times already,
Nice.
which is pretty legit. So like it's getting way more use than anything else we've like put out basically.
I think you guys definitely need like an initiate call with camera and opt in to
100%.
screen share as a second
Yes.
step option
Absolutely.
at some point. Because I still default to Zoom for things where like I want to just talk to someone, but then we want to share screens. And now it's like, well, we're already in Zoom.
Yeah.
So now we share screens in Zoom, and then I want to draw on the
having that.
screen, and I'm like, so. But we're not going to end the call to start it with another tool. You know what I mean? So
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, totally. Just because of we didn't think about it at the time or like didn't engineer it with this in mind. It's like everything's kind of bundled together where it's like you get audio and you get screen share. And then if you can add video on top of that, but like doing them separately is doable. And we're going to do it for sure. It just has to be reworked a little bit. It's really exciting to me how much more flexible a tool it makes it to have video in there, especially if we start making that opt-in and then like make audio. Like you could do an audio-only call, you could do audio video, you can do just screen, like whatever. Like having all those like separate, I think is going to be really nice.
yeah, I think so too. Yeah. It's just going to be the way that programmers communicate in real time.
Someone asked me for chat the other day, and I was like, oh man, if we had chat, now we have everything.
I don't know if I would ever use the chat personally
I was same. I feel skeptical about it.
because I didn't use it in Screen Hero. And the odd time that someone would send me a message in Screen Hero, I'd be like, what the people? Oh yeah, I guess people can message me on this. It's just,
It feels like one of those iceberg features.
yes. I think you can probably get away with avoiding it. I think there will always be room for like a separate real-time chat versus video thing. You know, like no teams are using Zoom as their primary chat tool, probably, even though it has chat, you know?
Yep. And like chat makes sense when you have like 50 people in a webinar kind of thing, maybe. Like it's nice to be able to type in there.
Sure. Yeah.
But not for pairing.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, I think we'll avoid that. The one thing I could see doing that I kind of like is like some sort of like, are you ready button? Where it's like not quite a call, where it's like you need to answer this in real time, and then all of a sudden when you do, like you're gonna be connected, but like a hey, can I call you? And like you can have like a yes in 5 minutes or no later or something like that. Just some canned responses. But I don't know. Everyone I tell that to is not that excited. So
Yeah, I'm not that excited about it. I feel like I solve that problem currently with chat, just like messaging someone, hey, do you want to hop on a pair programming session or whatever?
yeah, I do want to make it easier to like go from that chat to the call. So like we're definitely gonna add like a /tuple command to like Slack and
Is there like,
Telegram?
can you write a
Is that a
Telegram
thing?
plugin? Is that possible? That would be cool.
do they have plugins? I don't know.
I have no idea. There's bots, so maybe there's like a way to do something. Yeah.
I mean, if there's an API, we'll API it.
Yeah, seems possible. There's probably a way to like have a bot that opens your browser at like a URL that's like tuple:// that like then sends the message to Tuple and
Yeah,
triggers the call.
yeah. You can register handlers for URLs like that, and I don't know how. And since like Telegram runs natively, we can just probably open it into.
Yeah,
I think
probably. Yeah.
we'll figure it out. I definitely want to integrate with Alfred too. Like I just want to be like Alfred Adam, and then have that like T Adam or something.
Just like a little power pack thing or whatever.
Exactly. And once we start doing that like URL registration thing, we can just add hooks into a bunch of different tools. That makes sense. Have you used Superhuman at all?
No, I kind of like started the process of starting to become a customer and then just never finished. My current email process is just don't answer emails, basically, and just let the emails build up. And I'm trying to teach myself to not care about that as much because in some ways it's like not really fair for people to be able to just like steal your time. You know what I mean? But there's this guilt associated with it where it's like, well, you should get back to people. And I try to. I don't know. It kind of sucks to not be able to just ignore it guiltlessly.
It's true. Maybe the real email client is meditation, to be okay with not answering.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't do like a lot of email for my own benefit. Like most of my email work is like not benefiting me. It's mostly answering people's questions or so like some support stuff, which of course I do, or GitHub notification junk, stuff like that. But it's not very often that I'm like emailing people and waiting for replies. And
that's my job now.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a professional emailer. But anyway, I asked about the Superhuman thing because they have this really great kind of Omni fuzzy finder command kind of thing where you hit like Command K and then like you can type basically anything, like almost anything you can do in the app, you can initiate from this like Omni typing widget thing. And I am jealous of this. And like if we had a global tuple shortcut, it's like, and then just like you can do all the things with the keyboard.
Yeah,
that would be kind of cool.
I wonder where they kind of picked that up. The first time I saw like that pattern was in like Sublime Text, where they have this like command palette, and I've seen it in lots of apps since then. Even like Chrome DevTools has it now, where you can type like Command K or Command Shift P or something, and it opens up a little search, and you can just search through all of like the registered actions that exist in the thing. So like if you want to take a screenshot, it's like Command Shift P or something, and then type screen. Oh, there it is. Enter screenshot taken of like the browser. It's such a sweet way to like discover things that maybe like don't necessarily deserve a keyboard shortcut, but you still want to be able to do with the keyboard, you know? It's a really cool UX pattern for sure.
Everyone knew this, but I feel like it's becoming public consciousness, which is like keyboard stuff is just way faster. If you can do a thing on the keyboard, it's going to be way more efficient than if you have to click anything. And this is kind of like kind of the perfect embodiment of that, or like it's like it really brings it to 100.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be cool. Keyboard everything.
Yeah. Keyboard everything. It's just like your mouse is an anti-pattern.
Definitely true. I remember when I switched to like my iMac and I didn't have like the trackpad that's like right under your keyboard on your laptop, and I had to start moving my arm to use the mouse instead of just like kind of reaching down with my thumb. That was like, I couldn't accept that for a long time. I've sort of gotten used to it now, but it really felt like a step back in terms of speed.
Did you ever use the ThinkPads that had the built-in little mouse in the?
I never owned one, but like I've played with computers that had them. It felt like a level of precision that takes practice to get used to.
I had one. It was great. Like that was a good idea. Like having a little mouse embedded where you can still be on the home row,
right in the middle of the keyboard. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're still on the home row, but you're mousing.
Yeah,
it's like
that's pretty cool.
That's some good stuff. Because every once in a while you do need a mouse. Like fine, I accept that.
Sure. Yeah.
But don't make it so far away.
Yep. Cool.
So yeah, and other Tuple stuff. Like we're getting ready to launch ? I think.
Oh yeah, I guess that's coming up.
Yeah, so we said we were going to launch in August. So it's August. I wouldn't say I'm quite having like second thoughts, but I'm almost having second thoughts. Where it's like we grew like a lot in July. Like we had a really great July. To the point where it's like we don't need to add customers faster than this, I would say. I mean, I guess we could, but like it's not an urgent thing. The pace is nice, and there's a fair support burden right now. Like as you add customers, it takes time to get them onboarded and deal with them and things like that. They have questions in the beginning. Generally, they stop after like the first month or two. And so I'm kind of questioning, like, do we really want to have a big, huge influx, like some sized influx of customers all at once? Like, is that even good? Like, why is that good?
Yep. I am not sure that there is a good argument for it. I mean, I have never launched a SaaS app, so I can't say for sure. I think if you are able to let in the number of customers that you feel comfortable like supporting without having to launch, it seems like you would just be able to maintain more control over that process with no real downfall. So hard to say.
Yeah, it's like I would like to keep adding customers, and I'm okay if that pace increases a bit. But the whole like giant spike on one day or a couple days actually it sounds like, okay, we need to be all hands on deck, and like there's probably this huge support thing, and we're all doing support, and it's going a little crazy. And it's not the end of the world, but
if it's still like a paid trial or like kind of how you do it now or whatever, I'm not sure that you would actually get a huge influx. Really,
it's true. So part of that is I'm thinking about changing the way the trial works. So like we do that $100 first month trial thing, but we were thinking about trying like a $7 for 7 days kind of thing, partly as like a launch promotion type deal, which I think would get a lot more uptake. And then we have this like pretty big list of like 6,000 people or something on the mailing list who like said they were interested but haven't signed up. And it's like, well, if we suddenly come at them with an offer that's 93% lower, maybe they'll take it.
Yeah. What do you think is the advantage to the $7 thing versus like just a credit card upfront trial? Like obviously it's like a little bit more friction. Like it's going to be like a little bit more likely to be a customer that's actually going to pay. But what in your head is like the really significant difference or advantage for you there to get like a bunch of people paying, like 10 people paying $7 is $70. Okay, like it's a little bit of cash, I guess. But if you have people already asking like, oh, well, we can't use this until we can try it, and our company won't let us pay for something just to try it if we're just going to not use it or whatever. Like, I just wonder how beneficial that really is.
It's a good point, and I've been kind of feeling that same thing myself. So it's definitely not about the money. It's not about like we're going to make a lot of $7 charges. It was more like, okay, we're going from a pretty high bar of like $100 up front to like going all the way to zero felt extreme, I guess. And so this is kind of like, okay, I want to lower the barrier, but like I do still, so the downsides of more people coming in are basically, I think it mostly just comes down to support. And so it's like figuring out what the number is or what the cost is manages that flow. Where if you have a totally free trial, I think you would very likely get a greater proportion of people that are not interested in actually paying for it. They just want to try the thing.
Sure. Yeah. People who like sign up with a credit card, then literally cancel immediately so they don't accidentally get billed again. So having some sort of charge there is probably good.
Yeah. But so the objection we get is like, I get this email like a bunch of times from people. It's like, my boss doesn't want to pay for something we haven't tried. Like I went to my boss, I asked him to pay for it. He said no. One of my fears with this is like people are going to use their personal credit cards and then they're going to try it. And they're like, oh yeah,
switch it. And
now I got to go talk to my boss. That's going to take a couple of weeks to like get approval, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. It's definitely tricky. I'm not sure. At the same time, you can also ask yourself, like, is there enough people who don't have that problem of not being able to pay that $100 for a trial that we can just forget about this problem? Because that's still plenty of people for us to build a business on. And once like more and more people use it, as the word of mouth grows, the reputation grows, and now maybe you do have a better chance of companies who otherwise like wouldn't pay for a trial are willing to pay for a trial because it's an established product.
Right. Yeah, I mean that's a good counterpoint. I think that's true. Like we have no need to grow faster. We're growing plenty fast.
I think the $100 for the first month thing too, I'm sure you could probably fine tune it and really perfect the perfect price for perfect amount of time or whatever. But it does feel like in the right ballpark of getting people to take the trial seriously, where I wonder if like $7 for 7 days is closer to like the credit card up front. Maybe I never even call someone side of the spectrum, you know what I mean? Whereas the $100 is like, okay, well, we paid $100 for this. It's 3 digits. Like that's enough for me to tell the people on my team, okay, like I want everyone to like try using this like at least a couple times a week, you know? But yeah, it's all speculation. It's hard to know without testing it, right? So
absolutely. You know, someone tweeted at me today being like, "Oh, I just saw the Tuple pricing and it's set at not wasting time or something like that." And I was like, "Yeah, I'd say that's like where our pricing is. Like we're not messing around. Like if you're going to use it, it's good if you're going to get value from it, but we're not trying to be the low cost answer to this."
Mm-hmm.
The nice thing is like we can just try it.
Yeah, and you can totally just do it differently a month from now. So
yeah, and like especially with our current invite system where it's like you enter your email and then like a day or two later you get an invite to the app, and I can just change that email for a while and see what happens. or I can like send this offer to like people that have been on the list for a while and see what happens. Or there's just a bunch of
That's
tests.
the nice thing about email, man, versus just like a public page.
Yeah, that's another thing I'm thinking about with the launch is like, if you just have a sign up thing and someone doesn't click it, all right, they're gone. But if it's like you have to get an invite and then you don't take the invite, well, I can still tell you stuff later. I could still maybe convert you.
Yeah. It's hard to let go of that email system, especially when it's hard to justify like the what is the upside? Like, is there even an upside at all? Like, it'd be one thing if like not many people were requesting an invite or something, but even then I would probably suggest trying to find out why they don't want an invite. You know what I mean? Not like, is putting up a public sign up page really going to be the thing that changes that? Probably not.
So like there are some people where, because we don't have like a like you can click this button and sign up immediately thing, they're like, oh, you're in beta. Like, we can't use this, it's in beta kind of thing. But like, kind of who cares? Like, there's going to be some people that are not our customers, and that's okay. Like, that's the beauty of the freedom that we have.
You might be able to change that perception just by tweaking language and stuff too. Like, I'm looking at the site now, and there isn't really anything that suggests to me that it's beta other than like my own built-in perspective of like, I've been using the tool since it was alpha. So like, when did it not be that for me? I don't really know. Like, I've just been using it from the beginning. So, but yeah, you're right. Like, nothing on here says it's beta. Get your invite. I can see how some people might kind of like interpret that as, oh, it's pre-launch, so it's not like fully ready or whatever. But I'm sure you could spin it to just make it more about like, we only want to work with certain types of customers, or some way that just makes it more of like an exclusivity thing than it is like a we're not ready thing. But I definitely get that same impression from Superhuman now that you mention it. Like, in my head, I think of it as like, oh, well, they're not launched yet, so like they must not be ready, because otherwise I'd just be able to sign up. You know what I mean? But I'm pretty sure like the product is super mature. So
yeah, it is for sure.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Although we are signing up larger customers too. I don't know. Like I was going to say, I think it's like the bigger companies that would have more of a problem with it. But like we're signing up like people you've heard of. So
yeah,
it's all kind of like small optimizations on an engine that's already turning pretty well.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is a nice spot to be in.
If it was me, I would have a hard time justifying making things just totally public and losing like that extra, email capture and stuff if you're already like letting in almost like more people than you can really keep up with. Like, where do you think you are in that spectrum? Do you feel like it's plenty of people, or do you feel like I don't really want more than what we already have? Or like, what's your capacity, do you feel like?
Revenue is growing fast enough that I don't feel like it needs to be faster. I'm not like, oh man, this is taking forever. I would say support is somewhat time consuming. Like Joel does all of it just about. And it's, there's 70 to 100 tickets a week, probably, something like that. It's enough that it's like, it's kind of annoying. Honestly, we haven't invested that much effort in trying to reduce those. Like, let's improve the docs, or let's see if we can change the tooltip on that, or like being more systematic about reducing that load. I think we have room. Like, we could add customers at a faster clip, and I don't think anything would fall apart.
I guess there's nothing stopping you from doing a launch and then deciding to go back to invite only. Like, I mean, you could test that too. It feels like a little bit of a weirder thing to undo.
Yeah, that email capture is so good. I don't think I want to give that up.
Yeah. I think you have to like think carefully about, is the only reason that I want to make it like publicly available and like launch it because I have some superstitious thing in my brain that is, well, that's what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? Versus like, these are the clear advantages to doing that will improve our business. But I know what you mean. Like, I would feel that same pressure. Like, it's sort of like you've had this thing in the back of your head now, like the whole time you've been building the product, that one day there's going to be this launch. So to like reprogram yourself to think like, well, actually, like, we are launched. This is like how our business runs. You know what I mean?
And we basically are, is the thing. There's a delay we put in there, and so it's like you can't sign up for it the instant you want it. But we basically are launched. Like, we don't gate it. You don't have to get approval from any of us. But then I'm also like, okay, if someone wants to sign up on Monday and I don't send them an invite till Tuesday, why is that good? Like, what's the point of that?
Yeah, I don't know what the point of that is either. maybe you should just send it right away. Maybe you should test that. Maybe for like 2 weeks, you should send it right away. And then 2 weeks, you can send it a day later and see which cohort converts better. My gut is almost that if you send it right away, like that's when someone was interested. You know what I mean? Like they put in their email now because they want to use it right now. So waiting a day, maybe that works to your advantage. Maybe that someone's just like sitting there itching for the damn email to come through. But maybe it's also like, oh, I'm kind of like, I got a different problem on my mind right now. And that one's sort of whatever. So worth a test for sure, I would say.
Yeah, I think so too. I think a test would be a good idea. There's also just like, we could take the email and then immediately send them to the buy page where it's like, we'll send you this in an email as well, but also here you go, like buy it here.
Yeah, that's another thing you could test too.
It's just like the email capture is like the first step in the purchasing process, basically.
Yeah. Hard to say, man. Businessing.
Yeah.
Hard stuff.
Businesses.
Lots of trial and error.
Yeah. What's going on in Tailwind world?
You know.
Is that what you're focused on right now?
Yeah, I kind of like launched the first chunk of videos for this free Tailwind video course I was working on. So I launched that right before this conference that we went to last week. So that was like 8 or 9 videos that it's almost like a mini course on its own. It's kind of like you could just watch those and it feels kind of self-contained. It's like you've never used Tailwind before. Here's how we install it. Here's what it's like to use. Here's how you do some of the more advanced stuff. Here's how you get your CSS ready for production. If those are the only videos you watch, like you've got a pretty good head start on how to get going. So the next thing I need to do, which I was supposed to do a bunch of it this week, but didn't because I just got distracted with shiny object syndrome, was finishing a bunch of these other videos, which are more like, okay, so you kind of know how it works. Here's how we can like use it to build a bunch of common like UI patterns that you're going to run into. Like, here's how we do like an image card. Here's how you build a responsive nav bar. Here's how you build a layout with a sidebar. Here's how you build a dropdown. Here's how you build a modal, that sort of thing. And kind of tackling it from both like here's like the CSS that you need to know to make that work and what classes expose that to you in Tailwind. And also like a design perspective. Like, here's why we're going to use like Tailwind's text color utilities to like de-emphasize this text. So trying to teach people like how to use Tailwind to both just like implement common patterns and do it in a way that makes things look good. So hopefully it'll be a really good resource just for growing the user base and stuff. I don't think any other CSS frameworks will really have the bandwidth to like compete with me on that. And I really strongly believe that education is like, that's what like determines like the winner for most of these like open source tools. Not that I'm necessarily trying to win or anything, but like, you know, the framework with the best documentation and the best educational resources and the best examples and stuff, that whatever people can learn the fastest and feel confident about is what's ultimately, I think, going to win. So I think just like really focusing on that as a way to, you know, kind of grow the tool before we start working on this Tailwind kind of components premium thing that we talked about last time I was on the show. That's kind of what I'm doing now. So yeah.
You talked about that? I don't remember you talking about that components thing.
Yeah, we talked about it last time I was on. Like me and Steve are trying to figure out like, should we make Tailwind themes or should they be UI kits? Should we sell them piecemeal or should it be a subscription? Or, you know, just trying to figure out what the product is. Like, what is the package that we're delivering and selling? I think we kind of have it figured out now. We kind of cracked a mental model that we like, which is basically IKEA, but for UI components. So like you want, you know, a kitchen table, like we sell 10 of them and they all come in like different colors. And there's actually like chairs that go with some of them too, that are kind of part of the same collection. And, you know, if you take that metaphor to like the UI components, it's like, here, you need a footer for your site. Well, we've got 15 footers. And also like this footer happens to work well with this header. You know, there's like the Becant footer and the Becant header that are meant to go together or whatever, right? And then there's also like, you know, like when you actually go to an IKEA, they have like their showroom, right? Where it's like, here's a living room and everything in the living room has like a tag on it, you know, so you can go get it if you want. So we can have a part of the site that's like, here's a marketing page. And like, when you hover over it, it's like, this is what the component we used for this hero. Here's like where this feature section came from. And, you know, so I think like that's sort of like our anchor vision for it now, which has kind of cleared up how we want to do it. And I think it'll still be like, probably like an all access subscription sort of model where, you can either pay annually, or maybe we have a lifetime thing that's like maybe the price of like 2 or 3 years just for the people who are subscription averse. And then we're also thinking of charging a different price for people who just want it to use for their own projects versus people who use it for client projects. So if you, like Tuple, wanted to buy a license for it because you wanted to use these components for your site or whatever, I would consider that sort of like the personal use. It's still commercial, but it's like you're using it for your product.
Really?
Well, because you're using
like
it for
personal is
one...
the wrong word.
Yeah, I agree. There's kind of like for clients and like for yourself. Because I feel like if you're building stuff for clients where you're literally charging people to build them a website and all you're doing is coming to our thing and copying and pasting stuff and then like delivering that, I feel like you're going to value the tool more than someone who's like using it more just for inspiration or for whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's easier to tie the ROI to like what you're paying when you're like, okay, I build this client $5,000 to build this site. I pay $250 a year for access to these Tailwind components. And because of that, I got this site done in 3 days instead of 3 weeks. It's like no brainer. But if it's like you guys are using it to build like your internal thing and you're not always adding new UI features, like maybe, okay, we're adding this like team management thing. Spencer's working on that this week or whatever. And then 4 months go by where you don't even update the web app at all. It's a little harder to like...
Too real.
Yeah. Right. So I don't know. I think trying to figure out at least how can we like segment the customers so that we don't like price out people who are really excited about it and want to use it, but they're not really using it for things that are necessarily making them money, and then still be able to extract more value from the people that are like literally using it to build the things that they're delivering to people and charging them money for. So just trying to figure out how can we segment things in a way that, you know, we're not underpricing it for some people and we're not overpricing it for others. So yeah. Well, I gotta run because we ran a little bit late here, but
yeah, fair enough.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, man, it's good talking to you.
Yeah, you too.
Thanks for stepping in on the fly for Derrick.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime.
So usually it's Derrick's job to tell people where the show notes are.
You can get them at fullstackradio.com/ artofproductpodcast.com, I believe it is.
Nailed it.
Cool.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on.
All right. Have a good one.
See ya.